What's eating you? Psychology Eats is here to help you. What's eating you? Oh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Ooh. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to Psychology Eats. So, what's eating you? Let me open it up on my laptop. And today I am getting into, I don't even know why I'm talking about this, accepting criticism. I don't know why I'm bringing this subject up, but accepting criticism. Are you good at accepting someone's criticism? Now, I would say sometimes it depends on the person that's giving you the criticism, right? Sometimes it depends on the delivery. I would say, hold on, y'all. Let me turn this volume up. I would say it depends on the delivery of the criticism. The delivery, how do they say it? And because if somebody said it like in a way that is hurtful, it's hard to accept the criticism. Like, for example, people have told me, your sign is crooked. Why is it crooked? You need to get rid of it. You need to throw this away. Throw this away. That's so that criticism is shady. Now, if somebody said, you know what, I know that, you're new to YouTube and maybe you didn't want to invest a whole bunch of money into a sign. Maybe you want to think about upgrading your sign to just so it can be a little, more professional. So for me, it's the way that the criticism is presented. Now, we all have jobs. We all have to work a job. I don't care what job you have. Your supervisor, your boss is going to they're going to criticize something. So how do you accept that type of feedback and criticism from your employer? Some people have a very difficult time accepting criticism. They'll blame other people or say it wasn't them, or just become bent out of shape about it, upset. Oh, I think I know why I'm bringing this up. Hi, Teasy. I think I know why I'm bringing this up, because I was just telling somebody a story about when I think I was like a sophomore in college, and I was skipping class. I was skipping class a lot. And the professor, who was the dean of the program, pulled me in her office and read me for filth, honey. Honey, Dr. Gaynor read me for filth. She really did. And I just felt like she was being so critical, because I was like, girl, we don't have to come to class every day. First of all, this is college. I mean, I didn't say that to her. I took her criticism and her feedback. I took it, respectfully. But she was just like, you got a lot of potential, but you full of crap. Like, you come to class when you feel like it. And as a result of that, I can't see myself giving you a reference, because maybe I was in my junior year. I think I was about to graduate. Like, these were my core classes. Yeah, they were like core classes. So she was like, I can't see myself giving you a reference or a scholarship or anything like that because of your performance in class. Your work, you do the work, your work is good. You're getting an A, but your attitude as far as not coming to class or leaving the class. I had the nerve, like, I would leave class. Like, if I felt like she was boring, I'd be like, I'm out, and I would walk out of class. So at the time when she gave me that criticism, I, for whatever reason, I accepted it because I knew she was telling the truth and I didn't have an attitude with her. Thank God. I guess I had starting to grow up a little bit in that moment. But that stayed with me because I'm glad she gave me that criticism because it got me back on the path that I needed to be on. And I got to tell you, I give the same criticism today as a professor. Like, I don't play with students who may have potential or may not have potential, but I criticize their behavior or whatever. And it's funny because, and I believe some people it'll work for, some people it won't. I had a student, he was such, oh my God. You just have some students who just full of shit. They just full of shit. They sometimes they're gonna do the work, sometimes they not, whatever, just like I was, the same kind of college student. But anyway, I had a particular college student a few years ago. He would come to class late. He wouldn't have his work done. He wouldn't even know what we were talking about. And I just pulled him out, like after class, I just got in his crap. I just was like, you so full of shit. Like, get yourself together before you fail yourself, because I'm not gonna fail you, you're gonna fail yourself. And I like really got on him. And he straightened up. He became a better student. And actually, like, when was it? Maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, my daughter was looking for a car. So we went to a car dealership and he sold us a car. And he remembered how he was as a student. And he was like, I had left the dealership, walked out the dealership, and he was telling my daughter, he was like, I was such, a bad student. And, your mom got on me and, kind of straightened me up. And, I just appreciated her, like, not just like kicking me out of class and giving up on me, but like getting me straight. Like, you need to do this or you will fail. So criticism, if you allow it to help you, it can help you. Not all criticism you're going to be able to receive it. But sometimes that criticism is what you need to get yourself on track. Sometimes we need that criticism for self-reflection. I handle it much better. Me too. I've walked off of, in my younger days, if a supervisor criticized me, I would just leave the job. I would literally just walk right off the job. Teenage jobs. I would literally walk off the job like, oh, no, no, no. You're not going to talk to me like that. And they could have been right. They could have been wrong. I just didn't want to hear criticism. And I don't know where that came from, because my parents certainly weren't going to hold back anything. Like, they had something to say, they were going to say it. in a loving way, but they were going to say it in a way to me, TZ. I'll be like, who you talking to? Oh, you can put these French fries right up your ass. Hey, baby, you know. It's terrible. I don't know where I got that from because I really still got a little bit of that still in me. I'll be like, who you talking to? So it's that not accepting the criticism. Like that, I think part of not accepting or having a difficult time accepting criticism is kind of like you were talking about self-awareness, self-reflection. You're criticizing me, which means you're saying that I've done something wrong. And I'm not in here. I don't want you to tell me that. Like you're telling me I've done something wrong. That means I'm being bad or I'm being wrong. And I don't accept that. I don't want to hear that. And I think for some people that's why I know for me, if I wanted to kind of figure that out, but I've been like that. I know I've been like that for a long time since I was a little girl. Like I don't want. Now you could tell me all day long how great I am. Woo, you did a great job. If we just have to learn how to accept positive feedback and negative feedback. And we have to because it really builds your resilience. I think where we are in society now, we are even what we do in psychology, we work with kids or adults, we don't want to necessarily point out the bad behaviors. We want to focus on what they're doing right. Like you're doing such a great job in 1, 2, and 3, but we don't really want to focus on 4 and 5, which is the problematic behavior, because we don't want to hurt their feelings. And if your feelings don't get hurt along the way, especially as a child, then when you become an adult, it's going to be very difficult to accept criticism, negative feedback, redirection, because you are just not used to it. It goes back to like, I am not in favor of, little kids on a soccer team or whatever, and everybody gets a trophy. Like they don't want to pick out the MVP. They don't want to pick out the best kicker. Everybody gets a trophy. If you do that, then how do kids build up resilience for when bad things happen to them or things that don't make them feel good? Because life is not going to always be wonderful. There are going to be many, 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 many days that are not good days. And it starts in childhood. And I'm not talking about like traumatic incident. I'm not talking about anything traumatic, because no child should go through a trauma. Just basic things. When I was younger, we played kickball. You pick your team. Sometimes you wouldn't pick first. Boom, that's all right. Hey, Virginia, sometimes you weren't picked first. It built you up. Look, I got to get my game up, so maybe next time they'll pick me first. Even a little bit of, kind of bullying, not to the extreme, but bullying also builds up some resilience. It really does. Because either you're going to learn to defend yourself. I mean, are you going to accept the bullying behavior and kind of be a coward to the bully? Because that's going to show how you're going to handle situations like that when you get older. Because even though it may not look like bullying, you may be at a job where there's a bully at your job. And so how do you defend yourself? Do you defend yourself? Do you stand up to the bully? Do you, go in your office and cry like a baby? Like, what do you do to defend yourself or handle a bullying situation at work. And it really all starts in childhood. Like my mother would never, I used to, oh my God, I used to get in so many fights in my neighborhood just for whatever reason. Somebody just called me a name. Oh, I'm ready to fight. I'm the oldest sibling, so it was difficult to hear anyone else's opinion at home, work, or school. Oh, yeah. I'm in the middle, which is a whole nother subject. You know, middle children, we got issues. We got issues because we wasn't a baby and we wasn't the oldest. But yeah, so I would get into quite a few fights. And I would come in the house and I'd be like, oh, mommy, I'm about to, she could tell I was geesed up. I was like raring to go. I might even came in like, where the Vaseline at? Where the Vaseline at? I'm gonna have to slather myself in my Vaseline because I'm about to rumble again. And my mother would never get, my mother or my father, they would never get in the middle of it because whoever I was rumbling with by the afternoon, like if we fought around 1 o'clock, by 7, we was back friends again. So like she would never get in the middle of any of that. Yes, let's talk about birth order one day. Let's. Yes, birth order is very, very important because it really does show like, personality, how you manage your life, all of that stuff. Birth order is, especially when it's a solid 3, so you're in the middle or you have an older and a younger. And what are the responsibilities of the older child? Mm-hmm. I know I'm not sure. My neighbor is from Africa. Obviously, Africa is a continent, but I'm not sure which country they're from. But they have 3 daughters. And their oldest daughter, they would refer to her as the head daughter. And she would have a lot of the responsibilities like the mother. And so the mom would be, I would be just chit chat with the mom, and she was like, "Yeah, my head daughter." And I was like, I got like what that meant, but it's a very important role in the family. Oh, you have the solid 3? Okay. Yep. So you're the oldest, TZ. Okay. And that's a lot of responsibility on the oldest child. Especially, I know for my sister, because I was the middle child and the problematic child, and my sister is the oldest child and felt the responsibility to keep me under control, which was like impossible. She would get so upset by my behavior. She would try her best to try to get me to, act right. But of course, I wasn't going to listen to her. And caused her a lot of stress and anxiety trying to get me together. But yeah, birth order is important. Oh wow. Yeah. So if you felt like you had to get us, the younger and then my youngest sister took on more of my personality. She wasn't as bad as I was, but she took a lot of my personality on. So then my poor older sister was really trying to, and we're off like 5 years apart. So they were trying to, control me and my little sister. So birth order it's crazy. But just back to like accepting criticism, I think too, like as you get older, but no, because I've seen some older people who cannot accept criticism. They just cannot. That's why, I don't really, I find it difficult. Like if I'm in a position as a supervisor or a manager, and now you got to confront somebody's bad behavior, or not even bad, but they just didn't do something, that met the job requirement. And now you have to confront them, as a supervisor or the manager, I would be practicing. I'll be like, Lisa, you didn't, oh, damn, that ain't right. Lisa, like you gotta, that ain't right. I can't do it like that. I can't talk to Lisa like, like I, you gotta try to figure out a way, even at 54, yeah, even you gotta try to figure out a way how to present the information. You gotta criticize whatever it is, or it appears to be a criticism, but you want them to correct the behavior. You want them to correct the behavior. So, over time you learn how to finesse that. The season of life that I'm in now, I just pretty much would be like, this is what it is. Boom. You need to do it this way. And that's it. You know what I mean? I feel like, I can do that now. But, if you're like somebody new in whatever field you're in, and then you're moving into a supervisory position, that's going to be one of the most difficult parts of your job, is criticizing, redirecting, even to have to let someone go. If anybody in here has ever had to fire somebody, how do you, get through that? What I can't stand, and I've seen managers do this, that I can't stand a sneaky fire. Like, I can't stand when somebody be like you ever been on a job? Now, I've never been fired from a professional job, but I've been in agencies or whatever, and they know they're gonna fire somebody, and they let you work all day. Like, you come in, hey y'all, da da da, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You there all day, and then here come 3 o'clock, and the manager or the supervisor, come to your office and tell you today it's going to be your last day. I would never do that to somebody if I was in that position. It's no way that because I'm just not shady like that. Like, I could never be in somebody's face all day, had lunch with you, chill with you, like do all of that all day long in the workplace, and then turn around and fire you. Oh my God, that is so shady. And oftentimes that's just because the manager just is probably having a difficult time being able to tell somebody that they're let go, or that their services are no longer needed. But to have them work all day and then tell them at the end of the day, oh, but always catch me. I catch a vibe. I've never been fired from a professional position, but I always knew when it was time to go. And I stay places a long time. Like, I'll stay at like one of my clinics I worked for 10 years. I was at that clinic until they shut down. And, I'll stay places pretty long time, but I also know to catch that vibe. You gotta catch that vibe. You have got to catch the vibe. If you got a vibe that something ain't quite right, then you want to leave before they ask you to leave. Honestly, you really want to leave before they ask you to leave. And part of that is too, back to criticism, being able to accept criticism. Even though it's hard to hear, especially if you work in somewhere and you putting in your best effort, like you really doing your best. And for you feel like you're doing your best, and then you get a criticism about how you've done something. And oftentimes they watch it to see how you accept that criticism. Like, after they, tell you, you didn't do A, B, C, and D correctly, and then they look at you. Well, what do you think? How do you feel? And then you got to sit there and try to come up with something. And then you got to work all day like that. And then like I said, it goes back to, how did you deal with criticism? How did you deal with someone saying that what you just did wasn't, what they wanted? How did you deal with that coming up through school and all of that? It really, we build that ability to accept criticism from when we're little. From when we are little kids in school, at home, out in the community, but not everybody can do that. Hence why some people go back to their jobs and shoot up the place, because they can't accept criticism. You could be in a marriage with somebody who can't accept criticism, and they become very angry, if they're confronted about a particular behavior or something that you may not like, and you criticize them about it, and then they blow up. So now you want to avoid getting them mad because they can't accept criticism. And that's not realistic, because nobody is going to be perfect in what they do every day. So if you're in a relationship with somebody and they blow up because you were critical of something they've done or didn't do, that's a problem. That is a problem in that relationship, because you should be able to be critical on some level. But like I said, too, it depends on how you say it. Like, you could do a gentle criticism, or you could be real harsh about it. And in most cases, we don't like harsh criticism. A gentle criticism, yeah, sure, why not? So yes, that's what all I was talking about tonight, was criticism and how to handle it. Why do you handle it bad? If you think back in your own history, when people have criticized you and you freaked out, you got to ask yourself, why do I do that? Why can't I just accept that I didn't complete the task the way it should, like the way they wanted? Why do I blow up anytime somebody says something criticizing my behavior or something I've done? Why do I lose my shit? Thank you, Teasy. Why do I lose my cool? And how can I change that? Because I don't want to be like that. I don't want people to be afraid of me. I don't want people not to talk to me because they don't know if I'm going to blow the roof off this mother sucker. So, hi, girl. I'm here for the tea. So, yeah, that was it. That's all. Accepting criticism. That was my topic for tonight. So I'm trying to get myself into bed by 11 p.m. because I got an 8 o'clock class I got to teach every Monday morning. So, and some other stuff throughout the week. So I got to get myself in bed. I know I ain't going to go to sleep that early because I'm used to being up all night. But we'll see how it works. But thank you, everyone that stopped in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I keep saying prescribe because I'm used to saying prescribed medication. Woo! Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Good night.